Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another video. We've got behind us a 987 Cayman S Sport. Now, the customer to this car, he has done a little bit of DIY work on it as a bit of a project, and as you can see, not finished it. So this is as it was delivered on the weekend to us, and we're now putting it in the air. We're going to do our FGP comprehensive inspection and report and see which bits we're missing, which bits are needed. And essentially it's having a major overhaul, isn't it?
Yeah, precisely. So obviously we've got the bumper missing and removed. We've got aircon pipes disconnected here. I presume to find an aircon leak, but we won't be connecting them until we replace these condensers, because they're, as you can see,
they don't look like they're going to hold gas today. But why has he removed the bumper?
Because he's having a central radiator fitted.
So you can buy a central coolant radiator for these, a kit, and he's obviously removed the bumper to start doing that.
Both arch liners aren't in, so I presume we're going to be getting them. We've got coolant crossover pipes here that are disconnected.
Very bad.
And we'll be replacing them because they're really badly corroded, as you may have seen before. And this he wants all 4 shocks, doesn't he?
He wants 4. He's got Bilstein coilover shock absorbers going on, and all the arms and all the top mounts, and everything's been replaced in the suspension.
Go on the other side. Same on the other side. We've got the coolant pipes connected here, but they'll still be replaced. We've got no arch liners on this side either.
So why is the aircon pipe disconnected? He's changed the front to rear ones, hasn't he?
He's changed the front to rear one, yeah.
Get it up and show that.
Yeah, we'll lift up a little bit more. So this is the aircon pipe that he's replaced. The front to rear one, we do this quite a lot because they always get corroded quite badly. So we'll be connecting that up and making sure there's no more leaks. Over the front here, as you can see, these brakes are obviously 100% going to be replaced. The front tyres as well, they'll need replacing, they're all bald. Where should we go next?
You can see how long it's been sitting, can't you, by the corrosion on those discs. They're so heavily corroded. You must have taken it apart and it's been sat for the last couple of years.
We've got quite a lot of coolant staining around these centre pipes here. This little small section here. They often corrode and leak there.
Moving back, any of the rear coolant pipe?
We've got everything disconnected. It looks like he's disconnected it from that water pump and the low temp the thermostat here, but he wants a low temperature thermostat.
Oh, is that on his list?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's also disconnected and removed the coolant expansion bottle. But I did notice when I was looking up, if you look how much corrosion's on the end of this pipe here, so you might want to consider replacing that. You can see all the corrosion falling off of that. That looks to be only quite a short pipe there.
It's an expansion tank,
but we'd recommend replacing that because of the corrosion on the end there. You won't get a good seal. He wants a deep sump put on this.
One of the baffled ones for track days,
plug there. But yeah, we'll be doing that as well. He also wants these exhaust manifolds replaced. What's he going for, the Top Gear ones?
I'm not sure which ones. He's got stainless steel sports ones already ordered, apparently.
Yeah.
So the fixing bolts are going to be fun as usual, aren't they, Ollie?
Yeah, that'll be great fun.
We'll heat them up and get them off. I say we. I'm going to take the rears off as well, aren't we?
Yeah, we're taking
we'll be
removing the whole exhaust system on this.
Just replacing all the clamps and fixings. The triangular flange ones will need doing as well, won't they?
The exhaust has to be removed for the clutch anyways.
Oh yeah, he's having a clutch, light and flywheels on his list, wasn't it?
Yeah, light and flywheels.
Gonna have fun with this.
Yeah, and full rear suspension, isn't it? I don't know how many arms he's
Every suspension component, all the arms, drop links. He's got the Bilstein dampers.
They're not too bad. They're just slightly cracked.
Do you know how many miles this car's done?
150.
Oh, I told you. I ruined it. Yeah, it's on 150,000 miles, but had a replacement engine with Porsche at 100,000. Yeah. So he's going to use it for track days. So we've got to get it set up and overhauled. Needs a set of engine mounts as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're not looking too good.
Look in the bushes, they're all splitting and delaminated. Right, should we call that a wrap?
Yeah, we'll carry out the rest of the inspection, see what we find.
Come on, lead in, man.
What, are you filming now?
Yeah, take it away. Show us what's going on. So, car's back in.
The car's back in. We're fitting an extra radiator to this particular car. We've got the whole kit down here, and they're actually pretty straightforward to fit. The kit comes with these brackets. This is the first part that will fit. It'll slot up there. And presuming this will sit on the bottom of the radiator here, and then you have these two small pipes that attach onto the factory fitted radiators of the car.
It's all actually just made for it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Tiptronics have the central radiator, don't they? So
yeah, and you've already got the studs there for the bracket, the holes for the bracket as well at the top there.
And then the pipework connects to there and there.
So it should be pretty straightforward, but we'll show you how we get on.
So you get that as a kit from Porsche. We don't particularly like working like this, but this customer, as I said, he was taking it on as a DIY project, so he's got some of the parts already, but to go through all the parts and make sure they're parts that are correct, and we're happy with the manufacturers. So this is a Porsche kit, you get that from Porsche. So yeah, what are you doing? You've decided to start on the front end of the car, generally speaking, first. I can see new condensers.
Yeah, I'm going to start front to back. Next, I'm going to do the coolant pipes and the front suspension. And then I'll move backwards towards the car, do the rear suspension.
Should we show you the front while you've got the wheels off and stuff now? So condensers are on. I haven't got a torch, but we can get in and see those very crusty coolant pipes. The state of those, Ollie.
They're not good.
Look at that one. So that's next on the agenda, is it, after the central radiator kit?
Yeah, dropping the subframe, taking the front suspension out.
Brake discs as well. Here he is. Good boy. You want to be in the video? We need a dog for the videos.
Yeah, we do.
Good boy. What's going on with this car then, Charlie? Come on, Ollie. Let's go. No, come on. You're taking the lead in this one. You're like Liam. I'm just Noel. You're going to show it with the bumper, like visual aid.
Yeah, so I'm taking this whole grill off, and the customers unfortunately ordered the wrong part for it. As you can see, this is way too big for a 987 bumper. This is in fact for a 997. So we're going to get the correct one ordered, and then we'll put the bumper back on at a later date.
So factory, blanking plate, because you've got no radiator, so you don't need air going through the middle of the bumper there. And then when you put the radiator in, you take that out, and you have a bracket to hold the ducting, don't you? So the ducting's right and the radiator's right,
No,
is it?
the ducting's wrong as well.
Ducting's wrong too. So the radiator's fine, pipework's fine, just the ducting and the bracket.
Yeah.
Shall I show? There we go. Come on then, Liam.
Is it filming now?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so now we're not putting the front bumper on. We're going to crack on with stripping the front suspension. So I'm going to take the whole strut out, arms out, and while that's out and ready to be rebuilt, we're going to do the front crossover pipes, because you have to drop the front subframe to do the crossover coolant pipes. So we'll do that, we'll replace the front crossover pipes, and then we'll rebuild it with all new suspension.
Come on. Ollie, do you want to take it away and show what's been going on?
Yeah.
So, go on.
So we got all the old suspension out. It was an absolute fighter. That's why we didn't film any of it.
I took a very quick film of you really struggling, making a lot of noise trying to undo a bolt. Which bolt was that?
Oh, it was the bottom ball joint and the track running ball joint.
You had a bar about this long.
And the lower arm bolt was seized in there, which we usually see, but you can usually get them out, but not on this occasion.
Should we show that now? We had to cut.
We had to cut them out. The problem is the bolts always get seized in the actual bush there, in the metal sleeve of the bush. So we have to just cut it straight off and then ping it out. Also, the ball joint got seized on there. As you can see, I've been heating it up to get it off, which has been fun. Yeah, so...
It's all very, very loose. I felt it as well, isn't it? All the bushes are very, very
not
loose.
Good at all. It's all been sat there for a long time.
It's all original, isn't it? 150,000 miles.
These discs are absolutely knackered. So we've got the new
dampers.
Oh yeah, these are the dampers. Yeah, they're pretty shot as well, as you can see.
Top of the stanchion. What else we got?
So that's the front coolant pipes.
We've seen these loads of times on the channel, but there you go, look.
So we've got the new crossover coolant pipes in. We've got the new anti-roll bar in. This is a H&R anti-roll bar that we've put in for him. You don't actually have to drop the subframe to get that out.
You've only dropped the front, haven't you? You've just tilted the front there and then slide them both out.
So yeah, we've got the new crossover pipes in there. We're doing these two smaller pipes now.
The little connection pieces.
And then we'll rebuild it with all new suspension.
That connection piece there, that connection piece there. Like we spoke about, the front to rear one's always okay because they're protected by the under trays here. You got the new arms going in.
Yeah.
Trailing arm there. We got the whole front end just stripped down, isn't it?
Well, we've completed the majority of the front end. We've got the bumper back on, the air ducts back on, bumper back on, and then we've also done all of the front suspension, the front crossover pipes. We've still got loads of arch liners that still got to go in, but we're going to do that right at the end. But yeah, all the front suspension is all nice and rebuilt. We've got the braided brake hoses as well. They're all installed and new brake pipes.
They're orange as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Good ridge ones.
So moving to the back end of the car. taking the exhaust manifolds off because I thought I'd just get them stripped just in case I had any snap bolts, and I did have 2 snap bolts on this side, but we've already drilled those out and re-tapped them.
So it's 6 bolts per side, 12 in total. You'd usually expect a car of 150,000 miles. What do you reckon? At least half.
Yeah, I was
we thought would snap.
I was surprised it was only 2, to be honest.
So you had 2. So which ones did you have snap? You wouldn't even be able to tell. You did such a good job.
And that one.
Yeah, so what does that require? Sitting there,
drilling them out and knocking out the old threads.
Yeah, and being very careful not to damage the threads that are in there, so you don't have to helicoil them. So ready to go with stainless steel ones. I can see the new coil packs.
Yeah, oh yeah, we've got new coil packs on there. We've got this new deeper sump that we've put on as well.
So it's a high performance baffled sump, isn't it? That's meant to be better for track use so that you don't get oil starvation. Hasn't it got deeper pickup points in there as well?
Yeah, deeper pickup points as well.
What else we got?
So we've also got high temp thermostat, which, as you know, we always do.
Low temp thermostat.
Low temp thermostat,
that looks
not
nice.
high temp, which is very popular.
Track use particularly.
Yeah.
Now that he's got that centre radiator in the front as well, it should do wonders.
We've had to replace this coolant pipe as well. It's just a short piece of a coolant pipe here, but it was heavily corroded right up the top here where it seals. So we've gone forward and replaced that.
Just a pink staining, didn't you, forming around there?
Yeah, it was quite bad. And then moving backwards, we've got most of the rear suspension on. I'm just leaving it off for the moment while the gearbox is out, as it makes it a bit easier.
Yeah, elephant in the room, no gearbox.
Yeah. So,
well, quickly, what was the trouble? So the whole suspension has fought you, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
it
rear suspension.
It was really difficult to get out. I ended up having to take part of the subframes out just to get these bolts out because they were so seized in there. So I had to take them out and just to get some heat on there to get these eccentric bolts out.
So you took it off, was it here?
Yeah, so it unbolts at the top here, and this sort of section comes all the way
You had that whole subframe out there in the vice, didn't you? So that did you cut through them in the end?
No, you can't cut through them. You should heat them and press them out.
Oh yeah, you can't get in there, can you, at all? Both sides?
Yeah, both
Same
sides.
story?
Same story on the other side.
Seized drop links?
Yeah. Yeah, this drop link was absolutely seized to anything. It was horrible.
Into the hub?
Yeah, it was horrible.
So we always get that on the drop links
nightmare.
that fit straight into the aluminium of the hub, don't we? Because it's 2 different metals together, and that is a recipe for corrosion. So what did that entail? Again, cutting one out?
Yeah, cutting it out and winding it out with a ratchet while levering it out.
Still good fun though.
Yeah, it's been a difficult one, but we've got the gearbox out now. We've fitted the new lightweight flywheel with the upgraded clutch, which you'll see.
Should we go over and show the...
Yeah. You still filming?
I'm still filming.
So as we've got the actual gearbox out, this customer's having a limited slip differential put in. This is the original differential here, and I've just put in the new differential now with new bearings and new shims.
So it's a quaif differential, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So there we go, but we didn't order at the same time new bearings, and then we decided we don't want to go to all this trouble and not put new bearings on the diff, did we? So we've had the car dead on the ramp, and we bought a couple of new bearings, didn't we? So you've just pressed on new bearing each side, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right.
And the old ones on the old diff there. That should be interesting. So we'll give our thoughts on that afterwards.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it, isn't it? We're going to sling that back in. Now you got all the exhaust system off as well, didn't you? Because we're putting all new clamps on. You got those 3 clamps there. Wasn't there one more? The ones onto the actual tailpipe as well. Yeah. And then the fixings that always corrode from the triangular flanges, they were all absolutely corroded. So everything will be new on the exhaust. And he'll put his stainless steel manifolds on. Is that it?
Yeah.
I feel like we're forgetting something. There's so much on that car. I feel like we're forgetting something. No?
We'll remember something.
Okay. Right.
Check back in with you in a sec.
So here we are, finally, with the Cayman S Sport, all done, finished, and me driving it out on the road. Now this isn't my first drive in the car, so I know what it's like already. It's gone for MOT, wheel alignment, been test driven to bleed up the coolant system and check for niggles, etc. But this will be my first drive in the car where I'm going to give it some proper welly. So yeah, let's go out in the car. What I'm going to do first, let's go through what a Cayman S Sport actually is. So what is this car? What is a Cayman S Sport? Well, essentially, in a nutshell, what it is, it's a 987 Generation 1 Cayman S with a 3.4 litre flat 6 as found in the Cayman S, with some enhancements made to it. So what Porsche tend to like to do every now and then with some of their cars is they like to make a limited edition of a model that's already available. So for example, a few episodes ago, if you go back in this Friends Green Porsche prep book series, we did a video on the 997 GTS, and that is a similar sort of thing that Porsche do, although they didn't make that in as limited numbers as this edition. But they like to make a limited edition car that has a group of their optional equipment on it, with the objective and purpose of making that car feel more sporty and have more purpose in the way it drives. So for example, with this car, what it comes with is standard in that group of spec. It comes with the sports switchable exhaust. So you click the button, we can make it more sporty sounding by opening some valves in the exhaust back box. It's got a remapped ECU, which makes the horsepower go up from 295 in the Cayman S to 303 in this. I know, very negligible, but there is a slight improvement to brag about in the pub there. We have got, by way of appearance, obviously the elephant in the room, the colour. So you couldn't actually get your Cayman or Cayman S in this colour. So the most popular colours for the Cayman S Sport are this orange or the very vivid green. They came in 7 colours in total. The other colours were Guards Red, Speed Yellow, 2 other very vivid colours, white, black and silver. It comes with other styling things. The gloss black wing mirror covers are standard, the gloss black air intakes on the side is standard, the scripting along the side reminiscent of the 1973 Carrera RS with the Cayman Sport model designation written on there. Oh, I can't get through. It's got the twin tailpipe tips that come with the sports exhaust as standard. It's got 5mm wheel spacers actually on the wheels. The wheels themselves are gloss black as standard, and they're the 19-inch sport design ones. Also as standard, we've got the sports chrono package, so you've got the lap timer on the dash if you wish to take it to a track, as this guy will be doing, which we'll go into in a moment. With the sport button and PASM suspension, Porsche Active Suspension Management. So at the touch of the button, I click that, the suspension becomes stiffer and gives less body roll in the corners, and also the throttle's remapped, so it's more sensitive to input. On the inside, the gloss black kind of detailing is carried over. So behind me, we've got the engine cover trims, they're in gloss black. The cup holder trim along there is in gloss black. We've got all the touch points in suede Alcantara, giving a more kind of GT-esque feel to it. So the steering wheel, handbrake and gear stick. We've got silver-backed dials as standard. And strangely, it looks like something's missing on the interior, but the Cayman S Sport comes with the dial binnacle cover removed. So yeah, I'm looking at it, it looks like something's missing, but they came like that as standard. lastly, we've got the number for which this car is within the limited range on the glove box there. So this one is number 405 of 700, and I think there was 269 from what I've read anyway, right-hand drives made. Sorry, I actually got that last bit wrong. So there was 69 UK registered cars from new, not 269 right-hand drives made in total. I know a lot of things about Porsches of this age, but not everything. But anyway, that's in a nutshell what a Cayman S Sport is. There were other bits and pieces that you got, such as the bi-xenon lights, and not forgetting the sports hardback seats as well. They came from factory as standard. So there you go. You got a group package of optional equipment with these limited edition cars, which actually, if you wanted a lot of spec, it represented good value. So a Cayman S from standard with no equipment on it in 2008, when this car was made, was $69,000. I haven't got the pound sterling equivalent, sorry. And this Cayman S Sport at the same time was $10,000 more, but if you tallied up all the spec we've just spoken about, that spec would have come to $17,500. So yeah, they were good value if you wanted all the spec on your car. So what is it that we've been up to with this car? Well, the owner to this car is a little bit of a DIYer who likes to get involved with the maintenance himself. And he came down to Friends Green Porsche HQ and explained to me that he's got two of these cars, both of them are in bits with their own problems, and that he'd started them both, started stripping them down, but then became too busy with work commitments to make any real progress with them, and tasked us with the job of one, putting the cars back together and bringing them right back to their best, doing our normal refresh work, but also making a much more track-focused car. So that's what we did. So to quickly list off the normal maintenance bits that we've done on the car to bring it back to its best, it's had all the normal, the car had been off the road since 2019 is the last time it was MOT'd. So it's had a major service interval, it's had a brake fluid change, it's had coil packs, it's had air conditioning condensers, various brake pipes, all those usual maintenance bits and pieces. But then above and beyond that, to make the more track focused car, well, we've done a full suspension overhaul, so we've used all standard suspension arms, etc. on the car, but we've used the Bilstein B16 fully adjustable coilover setup. We've set that fairly low, fairly stiff, and we've put some quite aggressive wheel alignment adjustments on it, so it's running quite high negative camber. We've then, I can hear it in the back of my head here, we've put a lightened flywheel on it, single mass flywheel, which makes the car really rev up that much freer without that mass on the flywheel. Give it a little rev here. You do get some noise from that flywheel, but I quite like it. To go with that flywheel, we've put a heavy duty clutch plate and disc, which is quite snatchy and difficult out of first. That gives real positive engagement between the gears. We took the gearbox apart and put the limited slip differential, the Quaife unit, in there. I'm not going to give any feedback on that because you need to be going really, really silly on a track to actually notice the difference. So I could say, look, I can feel the difference through these corners, but in reality, I'm not going to feel the difference on the road particularly. We have, when we did the brake fluid change, we put high temperature boiling point brake fluids in the car, and we also put braided brake hoses on it as well to try and help the feel of the brakes and stop them obviously overheating when they're on track. The brakes themselves, it got high performance discs and pads. Now, we fitted the car with some stainless steel exhaust manifolds that the customer provided, but I don't know what the branding was, and when we fitted them to the car, they didn't fit at all to the back box. So you'd have seen in the video, I think we even spoke about it, we drilled out some of the cylinder head bolts that snapped. I think we only had two that snapped in the end actually, which was good going for a car on 137,000 miles. And we fitted them up and they didn't fit. So they came back off, and the originals are back on at the moment. I think there's plans in the future for him to come back and have us supply some that we know of good quality. So this is why we like to supply our own parts, because we've tried and tested all the different brands and we know which works. That reminds me, the only other thing I can think of at the moment that didn't fit, that the customer provided, was we fitted a central front radiator to the car, which comes as standard on the Tiptronic cars. So for the Tiptronic cars, you've got a third radiator in the front, in the centre, and that's for additional cooling for the Tiptronic gearbox cooler. But you can buy the kit to fit to a manual car like this, which we've done, but you need an air duct and an air guide and a bracket to actually mount that radiator, and the one that he provided was for the Carrera 997, not the Cayman, so we had to get hold of the duct and the bracket. Yeah, we've got additional cooling for the car now, which will be good for the track. That also reminds me, we put a low temperature thermostat on there, so the thermostat's going to open up earlier and allow that cooled water to go around the engine at a lower temp, which is again going to be good for track use. We put 4 Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres on the car. We've also fitted the RSS semi-solid engine mounts, which are really popular. We fit no end of those. It just stops a lot of the sway of the weight of the engine in the back and gives a really kind of taut rear end. And we fitted the customer supplied engine oil sump pan, which has deeper pickup points as well. So that's just to stop oil starvation. So when he goes on track and goes quickly around the corners, it's not going to slosh all the oil to one side and starve the bottom end of the engine from oil. So anyway, what is the sum of all those enhancements? Well, PTSD for Ollie. He didn't enjoy doing the car too much. It was a lot of work and it was a bit of a fight. It was 137,000 miles, so completing the suspension overhaul particularly wasn't fun. But it's a car that I think the customer's going to be really, really pleased with. I think we've achieved his task and made a car to be really good on track. It feels really lively. You feel really engaged with the drive. The suspension, as I said, we've set it up quite stiff, and down country lanes like this, this is the lane just outside FGP HQ, because of that negative camber that we've set, you do find it wanders a little bit with the camber of the road. But obviously we've put that for the track use, so when you're really leaning on the tyres, you're getting full contact across the full surface of the rubber. But the beauty of these P16s that we fitted, I mean, I've got it in the softer mode now, but we've still retained that switchable suspension setup. So if I click this, you'll probably see me start bobbing around a bit more. There you go, straight away. The gear change is absolutely beautiful. That heavy duty clutch. You've still got the same weight, it still feels just as light as the original. In fact, well, the original in this was a bit worn out, so it feels a bit lighter than that one, but it feels just as light as the original you get in this car, but it's got a bit more snap and a bit more purpose to it between gear changes, although it is a little bit fiddly coming from a, I'm going to turn sport off, it is a little bit fiddly and difficult coming from a halt, so coming out of turnings and onto roundabouts and stuff, you do have to think about it a bit more, and particularly with that lightweight flywheel, it's hard to get the biting point smooth, so your passenger might take a bit of a jolt and think you're a bit of a poor driver. Like I was saying, the limited slip diff, I think I'm going to struggle to feel the difference out here. I mean, I could say when I start going a bit more quickly, I can feel the back end kicking out a little bit easier, but I'm not going to go too mad, so probably not. The brakes feel really sharp, I'm really impressed with the brakes, so we fitted EBC pads and C-Bro brake discs, and as I said, we've put the braided lines in, which should get rid of a bit of the sponginess. And they do feel really sharp actually. We've put quite a few miles under the belt now, so I can stand on them a little bit. That noise from the flywheel, like I said, it gives a bit of a hum, particularly at low revs when you're loading up the engine. I quite like the noise, but you will find when you're idling and the car's up to temperature particularly, it will kind of chatter and rattle a little bit, and someone that's not in the know might think there's something wrong with your engine. I'll put a clip in now actually so you can hear that. the rev matches actually, because that lightened flywheel does let the engine just rev up and spin up that much freer. So you can match the revs really quickly and easily. I'm a bit out of practice. The ride height we've put on this, as I said, we've set it quite low at the customer's request. I tested it over some speed bumps. If you get some really aggressive ones and you're not really careful, you can just touch down the front. So, but that is fully adjustable if he does want it to be raised back up slightly. It's getting dark now, so you can probably barely see me. I think we've covered all bases, so I'm going to end the video here. If you're interested in having something similar to what the owner of this car's had done to your car, then give us a shout. I'm going to put the website details and the socials in the next couple of closing clips. We can kind of bounce ideas off each other and come up with a spec that suits your needs. So yeah, get in touch. Look forward to hearing from you and see you in the next one.